Miley Cyrus is an accomplished Hollywood hustler. The 33-year-old singer-songwriter tells People exclusively that she was game to write the credits song Dream as One for the upcoming Avatar, Fire and Ash, which opens in theaters on December 19. Cyrus remembers meeting the Avatar director at the 2024 D23 Expo, where she and Cameron were recognized as Disney legends, saying, "I kind of throw it out there as I always do." The response to the question, "So what have you been up to?" was already known to me. I am aware that he has been involved with Avatar for a very long period. As she remembers, Cyrus's communication to Cameron at the time, "Just let him know if you ever need any music," coincided with the production of the third of 5 Avatar movies. According to her, it just kind of organically happened. In fact, James refers to us as legends-in-law. The Golden Globe-nominated song Beautiful That Way, which Cyrus wrote for Gia Coppola's Pamela Anderson starring The Last Showgirl last year, turns out to have been written using a similar technique. She laughs and explains, "I did the same thing to Last Showgirl star Jamie Lee Curtis. I ended up doing Last Showgirl and now appearing in Avatar because of that." Is providing directors with original music her tried and true way to get involved in movies? "No, really," Cyrus responds, "that's why I attended this year's Oscars. After each person introduced himself, I said, 'Well, I'm here if you need any music.'" She continues, "That went for the creators of Netflix's Emmy-winning Baby Reindeer. I threw that out there, but I'm not sure what I would write for Baby Reindeer Season 2. According to Cyrus, writing a song like Dream as One gives her the opportunity to take part in what really kind of bites in a film. "I have a strong emotional connection to music. Some songs, like I Will Always Love You, instantly conjure up images of the movie, even if they were composed specifically for it or were only featured in it." Miley Cyrus recently revealed that her 2025 Oscars performance was about more than just dress, glitz, or celebrity customs, which feels both audacious and incredibly on-brand. It was strategic instead. Intentional. Imaginative. Miley claims that she went to the most prominent night in Hollywood with the intention of personally pitching her songwriting abilities to filmmakers. The admission immediately sparked discussion in the entertainment industry. Did she engage in networking, reimagining herself, dispelling myths about pop stars and movie soundtracks? All of the above, and more, seem to be the answer. A secret agenda on the red carpet, the Oscars have represented the height of cinematic excellence for many years. To honor storytelling at its pinnacle, actors, directors, producers, and musicians come together under one roof. Many people thought Miley Cyrus was a visitor, performer, or fashion icon as she walked the red carpet in 2025. Few realize she was there on a mission as a songwriter as well. Later, Miley clarified that she didn't want to wait for the right introduction or hold out hope for a chance to present itself. Rather, she decided to put herself right in the middle of the creative ecology of the film industry. The Oscars turned into her informal pitch meeting, with producers, directors, and decision-makers all around her. Filled with people who tell stories visually, and who need people who can tell stories emotionally through music. She described the night as, "From star to storyteller." Although Miley Cyrus became well known for her performances, one of the most interesting aspects of her career has been her development as a songwriter. Her lyrics have become increasingly visceral, cinematic, and introspective over time. Her songs, with their layers of character, sensitivity, and emotional stakes, frequently have the sense of short films. She is making a big change in her desired image by going to the Oscars with the goal of pitching her songwriting abilities, not only as a singer, but also as a storyteller. Songwriters have long been used by Hollywood filmmakers to add emotional depth to their works. One song has the power to immortalize a scene, define a movie's legacy, or turn a moment into cultural history. Miley seems to understand that power well and be anxious to use it. The reasons the Oscars made sense. Pitching songwriting abilities at the Oscars may seem out of the ordinary to onlookers. However, it was the ideal setting for Miley. The Oscars unite, searching for emotional resonance as a director-producers seeking to improve narrative studios considering more than just words and images. After all, music is an emotional engine in movies, not an accessory. Miley realized that those who are most familiar with this are frequently located in editing rooms and screening rooms rather than recording studios. She positioned herself in natural interactions by going to the event and introducing herself as Miley the storyteller rather than Miley the pop star. Hollywood's preferred method of breaking the box classification is one of the unsaid difficulties Miley Cyrus has had during her career. Artists are frequently categorized by the industry as pop singers, former child stars, chart topper, or provocateurs. Miley resisted that narrative by candidly acknowledging that she attended the Oscars to showcase her songwriting abilities. She didn't wait for Hollywood to discover what she was capable of. She was making them known. This decision is in line with a larger trend among contemporary artists, who are actively influencing their creative destiny rather than choosing passive career trajectories. Miley's strategy focused on authorship rather than ego. Concerning stating, "I belong in this conversation," writing songs as a form of cinematic expression, Miley's songwriting has become more and more similar to the structure of movies. Many of her songs include storylines akin to those seen in movies. A blatant instance of emotional incitement, an increase in tension, the climactic release calm, introspective conclusion. She is a perfect fit for film productions because of her storytelling sensibilities. She is aware of how sound can enhance emotional impact, emphasize quiet, and highlight character development. She reportedly discussed with filmmakers at the Oscars how songs might behave as invisible actors, directing the audience's emotions without ever showing up on screen. Pop hooks and radio-friendly choruses are only a small part of this comprehensive understanding of movie music. The courage to ask Miley's revelation may be most remarkable for its directness rather than its aim. In the hopes of being asked to participate in film projects, many artists wait years for the right opportunity. Miley took a different approach and simply showed up and inquired. Fans were moved by her bravery and complimented her hustle and honesty. Her courage to stand up in front of a group of powerful Hollywood figures was widely praised on social media. Miley's strategy felt refreshingly open in a field where gatekeeping is sometimes the norm. A display of her creative development, the Miley Cyrus that viewers saw in previous decades is very different from the Miley Cyrus of 2025. She makes more deliberate creative decisions and is more self-aware and grounded. Her goal in pitching her songwriting abilities at the Oscars was to match her skills with the platforms where they might make the biggest difference, not to gain recognition. She is aware of how her voice has changed, both literally and figuratively. Furthermore, she no longer wants to be undervalued. Industry response. Inquisitiveness and deference. Early responses to Miley's disclosure were surprisingly supportive, despite Hollywood's tendency to be suspicious of crossover ambitions. She was commended by industry insiders for appreciating the importance of genuine songwriting in movies, and for treating the field with decency rather than entitlement. Rather than insisting on opportunities, she suggested working together. She presented herself as a creative partner rather than a celebrity accessory. Filmmakers noticed the distinction, and it counts. The future consequences of this Miley Cyrus's attendance at the 2025 Oscars with a songwriter's proposal would mark the start of a new era for pop artists' interactions with movies as well as for herself. It questions the notion that musicians have to wait for invites or adhere to conventional boundaries. It also supports the increasing understanding that musicians who have a visceral understanding of emotional narrative produce some of the most potent cinema music, whether or not a movie idea comes to fruition right away. Miley's decision has already been successful in one important way. It altered the discourse. "This is the Miley we love," fans say in response. Support from her fans was tremendous, praising her self-assurance and artistic aspirations. Many noted that her songs have always had a cinematic quality, and that working on movies seemed like a logical progression. Similar opinions were expressed in comments on several platforms. "She's thinking like a creator, not a celebrity." This demonstrates that she is aware of her value. It makes perfect sense for Miley to write for movies. Longtime fans found the information to be reassuring. It presented Miley Cyrus to younger audiences as a multifaceted storyteller, rather than just a chart-topping performer. Changing the definition of belonging in Hollywood, Miley Cyrus subtly dispelled one of Hollywood's greatest myths, that you need permission to belong. by entering the Oscars with a pitch rather than a performance. She didn't wait to be called a songwriter for movies. She asserted her individuality and supported it with confidence, vision, and expertise. By doing this, she served as a reminder to audiences and artists alike that artistic growth demands boldness rather than reinvention. Concluding remarks: a case study in artistic agency. Miley Cyrus's admission that she went to the 2025 Oscars to market her songwriting abilities is more than just a celebrity story. It's about being there when stories are being shared. About thinking that spaces that weren't designed for you are places where your voice belongs. And about realizing that, at its best, songwriting is auditory cinema. One thing is certain: Miley Cyrus isn't waiting for her career's future to materialize, whether it is collaborating on subtly significant projects or writing soundtracks for critically acclaimed movies.